Just give us a few more minutes. Elias muttered, his eyes fixed on the wooden puzzle pieces scattered on the floor. Minutes. I've called you for dinner 4 times already. His mother said sharply, standing at the door. Almost done, Mom. This one goes here. And this one. Elias hesitated, staring at the carved shapes, then smiled. Mom, you're brilliant. His mother raised an eyebrow. Brilliant? For scolding you to eat? No. Elias grinned. You always say life is like a puzzle. Once you fit the most important pieces together, family, career, values, the rest falls into place. Exactly, she said with a soft smile. But no puzzle is worth letting dinner grow cold. Now, come on. They gathered around the table, but Elias's thoughts lingered on puzzles. The world, he believed, was filled with mysteries, and riddles were the best way to understand them. Later that evening, as he worked with his younger sister Elsie, their neighbor Hayden leaned against the doorway. Still at it, he teased. Of course, Elias said. Puzzles teach you more than books sometimes. In fact, here's one for you. Tell me this. I don't eat, but I digest. I'm not alive, yet I never rest. And when my food is gone, I vanish. What am I? Hayden frowned. Sounds impossible. Elsie thought hard. Wait, a fire. Exactly, Elias beamed. It burns fuel but doesn't eat like a creature. It's not alive, but it never stops moving until it dies out. Their mother, overhearing, nodded. Remember, Elias, the solution to any riddle is hidden inside the riddle itself. The question points to the answer. A broken bridge and a message from the king. The next day, Elias and Hayden were walking near the old wooden bridge when Elsie screamed. A villager had nearly fallen through a broken plank. Only a rope had saved his life. This is dangerous, Hayden muttered. The counselor promised repairs months ago. Promises don't save lives, Elias said grimly. We have to speak to him again. When they confronted the local counselor, he waved them off. I've told you, we have no funds for such projects. What about the royal grants from the king? Elias demanded. The man's face darkened. Watch your tongue, boy. Do you want to be arrested for disrespecting an official? Before Elias could argue, a royal messenger galloped into the village. By decree of His Majesty the King, he announced, all skilled in solving riddles are summoned to the palace. The winner will be granted high office in the kingdom itself. Elias's heart leaped. This was his chance, not for gold, but for justice. Is the contest open to young men? He asked eagerly. Open to all, the messenger replied. In fact, I know your village is full of puzzle lovers. Hayden hesitated. We can't leave. Thieves have been raiding our homes. We've been standing guard every night. The messenger smiled. I'll have the army protect your village while you're away. Don't worry. The counselor looked annoyed. That won't be necessary. On the contrary, the messenger said sharply, it is surely you, counselor, would never compromise the safety of your own people. The man stiffened. Of course not. And so, Elias and a handful of others set out for the royal palace. The palace riddle contest. The throne room was vast and shining with gold. The king himself stood beside his daughter, the young princess, who had a reputation for setting impossible riddles. Welcome, challengers, the king declared. You must solve 3 riddles. The last one, set by my daughter, is the greatest test. But first, a trial puzzle to decide who proceeds. He handed them to carved words. New and door. Join these into a single word, he commanded. Most contestants scratched their heads. Elias smiled almost immediately. Your Majesty, the answer is one word. Newdoor becomes Newdoor but pronounced as Newdoor. It sounds like Newdoor. It sounds like Newdoor. One word from 2. The king laughed aloud. Clever, proceed to the main contest. The first royal riddle. The king spoke again. I did not exist when I was born. Wherever I begin, I stay. Yet I travel forever, through time and place. What am I? The hall was silent. Some contestants whispered wildly. Elias stepped forward. A memory, Your Majesty. The court gasped. Explain, the king said. A memory is nothing when the moment is happening. It isn't born yet. Once created, it remains forever tied to the place and time it began. Yet it travels with the person who carries it, moving with them through the years. The king nodded slowly. Beautifully reasoned. You are correct. The second royal riddle. For the next puzzle, the king continued, answer this. I come, and I go, but never on a road. My only path is myself. Though you see me, you love me more for my voice. What am I? Confusion filled the hall. Some contestants threw up their hands. Elias thought for a long moment, then said quietly, "A wave." The princess leaned forward. "Why?" "A wave travels not on any road, but upon water its own path. You can see it clearly, but it's the soothing sound of waves that people truly love." "Well done," the king said, impressed. "You passed to the final test. The princess's quest riddle." The princess rose. "This is no simple question. This is a quest. You must bring me a jewel by tomorrow. Listen carefully. The jewel, pure and divine, is locked beyond a stony gate that hardens as waters fade with time. It rests atop a tower without steps, growing stronger when removed from home, becoming more itself when left alone. Find it, and you shall win. Until then, you may only speak to one companion, Hayden. The search for the jewel." As soon as they left the palace, Elias unrolled a map. "Hayden, think." The last riddle's answer was wave, so the clue points us to the sea. "But there are towers everywhere even here," Hayden argued. "Not towers with no steps," Elias said. "And a gate that hardens as water disappears. That's not stone, it's something that acts like stone over time." They needed a ship, but at the docks, they found an abandoned vessel swaying in the tide. "Something's wrong," Elias muttered. "Forget it, we're wasting time," Hayden urged. "We have only one day." "I'm not leaving until we check if someone's hurt," Elias insisted. They boarded to find a stranded sailor. After helping him, Elias grinned at Hayden. "Brains are good, but so is a heart. The princess will understand." The caves of truth and lies. Following the map, they reached a tiny island with 2 yawning caves. A guard waited outside. "Only one cave leads to the island's heart," the guard warned. "The other will drown you in the sea. I may lie to you, or I may tell the truth. You may ask me only one question." Elias remembered his mother's words. The answer lies in the question itself. He smiled. "If I were to ask you which cave leads to the island, which cave would you point at?" The guard pointed to the left. "Thank you," Elias said, walking confidently into the left cave. Hayden gaped. "How do you know?" "Simple," Elias explained. "If he tells the truth, he points to the safe cave. If he lies, he would lie about where he'd point, still leading me to the safe cave. Either way, his answer shows the path." The jewel revealed. Inside the cave, they found towering coconut trees. Elias laughed. "The princess's jewel isn't gold, it's a coconut." Hayden blinked. "What?" "Look, the coconut sits atop a tall tower with no steps. Its shell is the stony gate, which hardens as the water inside dries up, and its flesh becomes firmer over time. It becomes more of itself." They gathered the coconuts and hurried back to the palace. The reward. The princess examined the coconuts with delight. "Marvelous. You understood perfectly." The king said, "Ask for anything. Young mangold, land, even a palace." "I only want a new bridge for my village," Elias replied firmly. The king's face darkened. "What? My people suffer while a counselor grows rich. Guard strip the counselor of his wealth, imprison him, and make him labor for the kingdom he betrayed." Then the king turned to Elias. "You, young man, are now the counselor general of my entire realm. What will you do first?" "Rebuild the bridge," Elias said, "and inspect every village project to ensure no one else is neglected." Spoken like a true leader, the king said, "Long live His Majesty." The people cried. Under Elias's guidance, the bridge was rebuilt, thieves were driven out, and every village flourished. Working side by side with the princess, Elias formed a deep bond of trust and friendship. Together, they ensured that justice, like a well-solved riddle, always fit perfectly into place.